Spawning at the bottom, we've got Pile. And his opponent up top, Tiki Gray. And this is kind of an old versus new matchup here. Pile, one of the old school greats, really pioneered what we call the Pile style, which was taking lizards and a whole bunch of defense, setting up some proxy defenses on the map to apply pressure, to kind of split the map favorably, and then run around with the lizards. Basically base race, but if you tried to base race him, then the defense would slow you down. However, Pile has a more modern approach here. Really an interesting deck. Like, I don't think his deck is very meta. You know, we haven't seen a lot of Badger play, but Pile is bringing it out. He's got the classic Squirrel, Skunk, Badger, Pigeon. The Skunk and the Badger both synergize quite nicely with the Pigeon. The Pigeon can help these Skunks with some prolonged push tactics against other Skunks or even Snakes, you know, just helping out, healing those units up. The Skunks have a nice tanky HP pool. And meanwhile, Tiki Gray gonna use the balloons, gonna leverage the turrets to help get some nice balloon positions. And pretty good map for offensive structures like that, to be honest. You know, if Tiki was able to control, say, this gristmill, or hell, even just his natural here, could set up a nice defensive position, making attacking very difficult and giving him a good staging point to fall back to be able to poke with the snakes. So we just kind of got to see what's going on. Tiki delaying the expansion. Both players really delaying the expansions. Pure lizard coming out from Pile here. And Tiki maybe a little bit worried, throwing down that single turret. But stuff like that isn't super bad. I think Tiki just doesn't want Pile to attack in as he's trying to get into tier 2. Because what's nice about the single turret like that is you can always sell it. Get your money back, you know, once you no longer feel threatened. Neither player expanding just quite yet, though. Couple mines on the map here from Pile. I'm not sure if Tiki actually saw those, and so far it's just one base from both sides. Tiki with the skunks, though, I'm kind of favoring that. Oh, here we go, one base Badger from Pile. Tiki needs to see this, and this is kind of risky as we're on one base play. Tiki's just looking for a hidden base or something like that. Does not scout the Badger. We've just got Badger Lizard coming up from Pile. This time around, though, Tiki probably gets that scout. No. Still hasn't seen it. It's very important to see that tier 3. But Pile being very aggressive, trying to deny that scouting from the opponent. Tiki getting into more and more tier 2. Very slow to expand this game. Pile still on one base. And Tiki very carefully getting into 2 bases here. Hasn't thrown down any farms on that second just quite yet. Pile sold down just single Lizard Warren to stop the supply block on the Lizards. And Tiki is finally going to see that Badger Warren. But is it too late is the question. The Badger is going to be here on the field in about 20 seconds. However, Tiki does have snakes, does have balloons. Very experienced player. Should be able to handle the one base Badger play. Let's see. It can be difficult to get those snake stacks onto the Badger, though, when there's so many lizards to buffer for it, you know. But if Tiki is able to get that target firing in, you know, this Badger does not have pigeons yet. Look at this from Pile. Just going crazy on the second base. Maybe gonna wait for some pigeons here. Knows the opponent's got a lot of snakes. Gonna go ahead and just clear out those mines as Tiki getting set up here to defend against this Badger. However, Pile's not moving out with it just yet. Gonna wait. Actually has a nice eco advantage at the moment. And Tiki is going to be the one to initiate here. Pile is going to move in. No stacks of poison on the Badger just yet. Tiki really diving in with those snakes to try to get those stacks, but Pile microing them back, and the lizards taking out all those snakes. Pile still got the Badger. But what's really nice about this build here from Pile is that all the supporting units are tier 1, so they're going to reproduce. They're going to be able to get back on the front line very, very quickly. Only need 20 food, only need 10 seconds. And you've got another one of these tier 1 units out. 2 stacks of poison on the Badger, but with all the healing, is it going to be enough? 4 stacks of poison now. We got 4 pigeons, though, and the Badger runs back to its own territory. What? Oh my god, it lived with 1 HP. Ooh, that is tilting. This is looking really good for Pile. 1 HP on that Badger. And the snake poison goes away faster in your territory, so that, on top of the pigeons here, was just enough for Pile to survive. Tiki selling down to only 2 snakes now. Another engagement coming in. Tiki really wants some poison on the Badger. Gets 7 stacks. That is definitely going to be enough. Even with all that healing, is finally able to kill the Badger. But now what's Pile going to do? Probably sell off the pigeons and just go straight lizards? 4 skunks, though, is very hard to deal with any pure tier 1 style, just because they have so much HP. And the poison, once you have 4 of them, I mean, it pervades out everywhere. With these quick reinforcements, though, Pile is able to overwhelm the tier 2 of Tiki, and now he's on the move. Tiki, again, a lot of the units here are tier 2. They're supply blocked. He doesn't have the 60 food to make them. And even when he does, it's 20 food, or 60 food in 20 seconds. To get it done, Pile's able to get a bit of damage in. However, we're 4 farms versus 4 farms. Tiki is going to commit to the 4 skunks. He realizes that's very strong if you can get it up. It decides, okay, it's a little bit too much for now. Just goes down to 2. Pile's got so many lizards here, and 1 skunk is not enough for these lizards to really care about it. Getting on top of the warrens here. 1 warren goes down, 1 pig goes down, and Pile is going to retreat and wait for some more lizards. Maybe sell off a warren or 2. Just be able to afford whatever he can. Couple mines going out here for Pile. Gonna try to retake some farms there. Meanwhile, Tiki's rebuilding 1 as well. Tiki did manage to get up to the double skunk. And Pile's just kind of waiting, just hoping he can be the one who sneaks out the farms. Is anyone going to sell warrens for farms? Yeah, Tiki sells off 1 warren. And if Pile realizes how many extra lizards he has, maybe he pushes in. Tiki realizes this is greedy, throws down the turret to help dissuade Pile from attacking in. And both players are going to calm down for a minute, try to get back up to 8 farms. Pile's going to go ahead and get rid of that campfire. Doesn't want it shooting down at any reinforcing units later on. And both players able to catch their breaths a little bit and get back up to 8 farms. Tiki Gray with a nice scout doing his due diligence here, making sure there's nothing crazy like a badger anywhere for Pile. Pile taking this sneaky 3rd base. More and more mines being placed here. And mines can be quite effective against lizards because they do tend to clump up as they're running around. However, I think Tiki did see the mines. Tiki trying to get into some more tier 2, going for snakes, which are not really good against lizards, however, will be good against the skunks that Pile is trying to get into. And since Pile was mining on the 2nd base for so much longer, it's already starting to fallow. He's only on 4 farms right now. I would love to see maybe instead of the skunks here for Pile, like just farming up on that third base, keeping that economy at least 8 farms. Tiki is going to find the third base, but kind of be relieved that there aren't any pigs on it. Pile's got a lot of money. Is it time for Badger number 2? No. Get into some pigeons. And there are the couple farms on that third. I might fast forward just a little bit, as both players are kind of posturing. Pile looking for some skunk harass, but very dangerous when the opponent has snakes. 1 stack of poison on that skunk. Here we go. Pile's moving in as Tiki tried to get the reveal for the mines for the snakes to take him out. However, the trade seemed to go better for Tiki there. Both his skunks managed to stay alive, but he lost 2 snakes to 1 skunk of Pile. And Tiki's looking for this third. Gonna run over with the lizards and try to deny this third base from Pile. Gonna get away with it too. He's got more lizards than Pile does at the moment. Pile cannot really do anything about that. And instead, Pile is just gonna go for the trade. Is gonna be able to knock out these skunks. There's just so many lizards here from Tiki. 17 to 8. Able to gobble up that skunk, no problem. And this just might be the killing blow here for Tiki. Very cool game. But in the end, Tiki is able to take match number 1. Okay, let's head into game number 2. Spawning at the bottom, we've got Tiki Gray. His opponent to the right, Pile. Alright, Pile with 3 defense. He's getting closer. Getting closer to the old school Pile style. Got the ferrets. We don't often see ferrets nowadays, but they are still pretty good in the right situations with the right micro. So I'd love to see if Pile can make it happen. And this map doesn't seem bad for what Pile wants to do. You know, like, we've got some pretty short rush distances. We've got some gristmills that can expand out the territory, where Pile, or Tiki really, since both players have the balloons plus extra defense, they could really take these mills here and set up defenses that are both threatening the opponent's base and defending their own. But unfortunately for ferrets, the balloons are pretty much a hard counter. So love to see how that plays out. But this is Pile, so maybe he'll just end up building nothing but lizards. That could be a possibility. I am definitely hyped for some ferret play. I hope we get to see it happen, but I'm very skeptical because Tiki has a balloon. However, lizards are pretty good against balloon, right? So maybe Pile can just run up there and overwhelm. But that's the only tier 2 that Pile has. And we don't normally get to see ferrets in multiples. But ferrets actually scale like quite nicely. If you get up to like 4 or 6 ferrets, it is some insane damage output. And the probability that you're missing shots just gets lower and lower. You know, when you're shooting out so many shots, you're gonna hit something. Ooh, Pile's setting up some mines here to bait out the lizards from Tiki, and it works. Takes a nice engagement there. Another mine on the way. Tiki throwing down that emergency turret. Some lizards being produced. Tiki wants to get into the skunks. Has Pile seen the tier 2 Warren? Just yet, he has not. Neither player really able to get in and scout exactly what's going on from the opponents. Tiki knows a little bit more than Pile does at the moment. Tiki thought about getting that second base up, but decides no. I really don't want to give Pile any momentum in the army graph right now. I want to make sure I'm able to withstand what is coming out. And here come the ferrets from Pile. And so far, Tiki doesn't know. And you're not going to expect the ferrets. Unlike Tier 3 units, or Warrens rather, you don't get to know what Tier 2 is being built, even if Tiki scouts it. Oh, and Pile actually hard transitioned into only lizards here. And the ferrets are on the way. And there aren't any balloons up or anything like that. There's no reason why Tiki would build those. And now he knows about the ferrets. And he's building into double skunk. And 4 skunks is a hell of a composition most of the time. Ferret harass is already starting. Tiki trying to dance with the units, protect the Warrens, lose a lizard every now and then if he really must. I'd love to see some defenses going down for Pile. He needs to get another Warren up or something like that so he can move forward with the defenses. Tiki, however, flanking. Tiki's confident he's got the stronger army. Let's see how it works out. That is so many lizards here for Pile. And it's just going to decimate that double skunk build here from Tiki. More and more ferrets. Harassment poking down the enemy Warrens. Alright, but if Tiki can just hold on. He does have the second base up and running. Sells out of the skunks completely. Just wants to get mass lizards. Just trying to match the number of lizards here for Pile. 1 pig going down, 1 Warren going down, 2 the ferrets. Tiki is going to attack in. One of the ferrets falls down to some target fire, but all the lizards from Tiki are annihilated. Pile takes the match. On the top of some good mines and some good ferret play. And a lot of lizards. I gotta fix that hotkey. Alright. Game number 3. Let's get into it. On the bottom, we've got Tiki Gray. Opponent up top, Pile. Rocking the ferrets again. This time, no balloon. Instead, gonna go for the boar. Meanwhile, Tiki is sticking to the 1 deck. This is the deck Tiki likes the most for the tournament play. Feels like it's got an answer to most things. And I like it a lot. I think so far it's been good. No owls or anything like that for the hyper late game. But a lot of times, it's really hard to get there against some of these high-level players that really rely on a lot of Tier 2. You know, if they see you trying to go for something greedy like getting into Tier 3, a lot of times they'll have the resources and the scouting information to be able to come in with the timing and deny that. 6 farm lizard here from Pile. Tiki does see it, answers with a 7 farm lizard. And this isn't really the best map for this sort of thing. It's very long, which gives your opponent plenty of time to react to a quick Warren, so it's going to be a no harm, no foul situation. Tiki will have just the, well, actually the 8th farm gets up faster for Pile, so the 7th farm was faster for Tiki, but the 8th farm was faster for Pile, so income-wise, probably evens out. You can see those little boxes there. And this is a big map that can lead to a large macro game. It does look a lot better for Tiki. You can just kind of expand to the 9 o'clock position, taking 4 bases and a campfire in the process. Meanwhile, Pile can go from 12 to 3, but only gets 3 bases. And Tiki's got the defense. You know, imagine throwing up some balloons like right here or something on that double high ground. Could be very difficult to deal with. Especially because Pile has no flying units, which will mean that getting the vision to attack that is going to be very hard. He's going to have to run all the way around since there's no path on the front. There's only a ledge there. Oh, Pile, though, looking for a flank attack. This might actually work. No, Tiki should see these lizards moving out. Maybe he didn't. Well, he does see that there's no lizards there. Good scouting here from Tiki. Does find that second base in the 3 o'clock position. And that would be really greedy, or risky, I should say, for Pile to start farming up. Because the lizards are so fast, there is a nice little attack path to get there, good little shoots. Tiki getting into his own second base, also getting into the skunks. Both players kind of moving out here. Pure lizard from Pile, but he just threw down a lot of those warrens. A lot of these lizards are actually not here yet. And this attack from Tiki could be devastating. Tiki has the lizard advantage at the moment, but Pile is just going to go for the base race. Oh my god, this is really good damage for Pile. Not going to be able to kill the mill, but kills so many pigs. And yeah, Tiki was able to kill the pigs on the second base, but it was only 2. Pile kills 7 pigs, Tiki only kills 2. However, so many units get lost there for Pile, as Tiki is able to keep most of his army together. But again, since Pile is on just tier 1 warrens, these units are producing very, very quickly. And by the time Tiki is able to march his units through the snow, through the water, Pile's already got a pretty nice amount of lizards here, and these skunks are just going to be very late to the party. However, Tiki does have the number advantage still, and is going to be able to start attacking down these warrens. Only gets a single warren, though. And the Pile's lizards should be able to clean up the rest of this. These skunks are dead units at this point. There's no retreating through this water for them. And a huge victory for Pile. Only losing 1 warren there. Tiki's economy is in shambles. He does have a couple farms up on this second base, but it's not enough. 8 farms to 3 at the moment. The 5-minute mark is going to hit very soon, though. And Pile is going to lose 4 farms on that main base. Pile realizes this, going to try to just deal as much damage to these pigs as possible, and Tiki has to tap out. Great decision making there for Pile, deciding to attack the main rather than defend the natural. Dealt some devastating economic damage and wins the map, bringing us into game number 4 here. Spawning at the bottom left, we've got Pile. Spawning to the top right, Tiki Gray. Pile rocking the moles this time around, still committing to these ferrets. Oh, Ferret Wolf would be so cool to see, man. But Tiki's got more of his late game style deck here. He's got the Owl Snake this time around, with the barbed wire as well. Barbed wire, very powerful unit nowadays. Can be hard to deal with. Even with moles, even with chameleons. Units that can actually directly attack the barbed wire. And a lot of times you can utilize that barbed wire to delay the game, to get into that Owl Snake comp, and put your opponent in between a rock and a hard place if they don't feel like they have a late game composition that can go toe-to-toe to that. And Pile really doesn't. However, if he can get up the ferrets and maybe just utilize the moles on the front line to deal with the wire if there is wire, maybe he can punch through and take the game. But that's a lot of speculating. Let's see what actually happens here. Tiki's got a nice little pocket natural. And a lot of these other mills are kind of up for grabs. Like, Pile can start expanding down this way. And it's really going to depend, like, who gets this map control. You know, if Tiki takes this mill, it can deny Pile out of any of these ones. But if Pile takes this mill here, he can maybe deny Tiki out of that one, forcing him to stay on 2 bases. So I'm really curious what's going to happen to the money high ground over here in the right side of the map. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to see how that plays out. Just tier 1 from both sides so far. Again, got pretty short rush distances here, so normally that means players want to stay on that tier 1 for a bit longer, so they don't just get overrun trying to get into tier 2. And Tiki is going for the tier 2 now, as Pile is moving out. But does Pile have enough tier 1 yet, is the question. He's still waiting for a couple more reinforcements yet. Tiki realizes he's about to be under a lot of pressure, sells off the tier 2. You're just going to build a bunch more Lizard Warrens. Definitely think that's the right play. Pile's thinking about it. Gonna bring up these couple squirrels to try to poke and prod. Getting some mines down. Hoping if Tiki actually commits, he's gonna run into these mines. Alright, Tiki's gonna go for it. A mine does connect. Mine number 2 as well. Pile with more units left over here. One of the pigs actually did fall to the squirrel poking as well. And Tiki's in some trouble. Really needed to clear that force out. Losing even a single pig in situations like this is very, very rough. That means Pile's got like a 12% better economy or something like that right now. And Pile's keeping the pressure on, even building the Mole Warrens. Pile looking to win this series right here, right now. Gonna poke with the squirrels, kill another pig before the fight even happens. Tiki is in some trouble here. Gonna grab that second base, but every little bit of food matters right now. Pile with the double Mole Warrens here. Letting those produce, and then he's just gonna go for it. However, he is giving Tiki some time to throw down this wire. But if these moles can punch through the wire, maybe that's all Pile needs. Pile grabbing that gristmill. Gonna come over to the side and just fight where the wire isn't. Oh, and that's gonna put Tiki into a base race. That's probably why Pile grabbed that mill, but no, Pile is gonna say, you are not going to put this into a base race. I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna defend, even if you take that mill. Oh, but he gets the mill! Right before that second mill from Pile was finished. Tiki stealing the victory there. Nicely done. Nice decision making. To go for that trade immediately. That second mill was very close to being finished. But that is alright, because that puts us into the exciting conclusion here. Game number 5. Let's get into it. In the left-hand side, we've got Tiki Gray. His opponent to the right, Pile. Alright, we've got a bigger map here. It's hard for me to say who I like it better for. I guess Pile, right? Because, like, Tiki's got a couple bases right here, which are closer to the main, but on the other hand, Pile doesn't have a super close space to the main. I guess it's natural. But this is such a good staging ground for these ferrets to poke. And if you split it, like, the rest of this map can belong to Pile. So yeah, I think this map is definitely good for Pile here. I wonder how Tiki is going to try to go about it. Maybe Tiki decides the first mill is going to be this one, to try to split the map kind of more like this. Favorable for him. It can even start building some barbed wire like right here. But, you know, if Tiki just grabs this as a natural and tries to play from there, depending on what Pile does, you know, he could really abuse this high ground right outside the net. Let's see how it plays out. Maybe we'll just see a one-base slugfest. I'm really curious the decision-making from Tiki here on which mill to take. But Tiki actually is not a player who gets into a very quick second base. A lot of times he'll get into an 8-farm double, into a tier 2, and then eventually get into that second base. Which I kind of like some of those builds, to be honest. Like, going 8-farm double into tier 2 and delaying that mill just a little bit can sometimes really punish an opponent who has gone for too much greed too early on. You know, let's say they grabbed a mill, put a farm or two on it. All of a sudden you're showing up with 9 or 12 tier 1, a couple tier 2 of your choice, and maybe you can just get in there and deal some crippling damage straight up. Yeah, Tiki's going to go ahead and grab this natural. This is a bit dangerous if this game goes on. You know, Pile could put some mines right here. Could just poke in with the ferrets. That would be really cool to see. I love seeing Ferret victories, man. Ferrets definitely get dunked on. Oh, look at this. Pile's gonna sell the tier 1 warrens and rebuild them in order to just kind of refund the money from the lizards for now to get into some more farms. And Tiki's gonna go ahead and start splitting his side of the map, throwing down some barbed wire. But you know what does not care about barbed wire? Ferrets. Ooh, even sells a little bit of it after Pile scouts. And Pile's just going up to 4 farms on that natural. Incredibly greedy. Tiki does not know just yet. No, he knows that there's 3. Yeah, and Pile even sold off the 4th and is going to get into the ferrets now. Tiki looking for some mines. Doesn't find any. And Pile sees that Tiki has got his own 3 farms on the way. Probably isn't too worried at the moment, but here comes Tiki. He's got a powerful force. Pile gonna try to get these skunks dealt with immediately, but this is too many squirrels here. This is a phenomenal choke. Lizards are horrible at fighting in choke positions like this. Squirrels and skunks are very good at it, and that is some huge damage coming in from Tiki here. Pile in a rough spot now. He's got the ferrets, though. I wonder if he could return the favor and poke down the opponent's gristmill. Yeah, this choke right here, just amazing for squirrel skunk versus lizards. Like, lizards really need surface area to be effective. And that 1 mil kind of taking some of the shots of the ferrets. Tiki knows that these ferrets are not very good in direct engagements. Is going to push in. Loses some food there, though, trying to build that tank warren. And these lizards should be able to get a better trade this time around. There's a lot more surface area here for them to get all around the units. Tiki Gray pushing out a little bit too far. Now Pile has the opportunity to return the favor with some counter damage. Really needs to get this mill knocked out from Tiki. Just going to force it down, and I think he's going to be able to get away with it. Nicely done, evening the score. Back to single bases for both sides here. Tiki did get some extra money out of that second base, though. And this is such a good position for these ferrets up here on the double high ground with a moat protecting them. These slow units in the water are going to have a difficult time even dancing for the ferrets to try to dodge the shots. But if Pile gets a little bit too cocky here, this water retreat will also be a bit rough. And Pile retaking that mill, re-expanding. Tiki going to sell off some of this auxiliary barbed wire, just going to try to put as much food in the pocket as he can. And here comes Pile with some more ferret poking. And again, this water is actually kind of bad for Tiki, to be honest, because it's going to make it more difficult to punish his ferret harass. 1 warren goes down. Tiki trying to run around here, but again, this is a good engagement for these lizards. I think there's going to be a lot of surface area here for them to get the surrounds. These ferrets are going to start going down to the skunk poison. But a phenomenal win there for Tiki. Going to get on top of some of these warrens. Win for Pile, rather. And Tiki, I think, is just about to have to tap. One of the ferrets is left to deal some extra damage to the warrens. A tier 2 warren going down. Pile is on top of the main base of Tiki here. There is about to be no farms left as this ferret picks off the last one. Tiki is now starving. But 2-2 in the series. Tiki really wants to win this match. He's going to hang on for now. Keep in mind, Pile is only on 1 farm of his own. Tiki's got 9 squirrels, a building expansion, and a dream here. Pile already invested in that mill. Gonna put some farms on it now, selling down to 9 lizards. Was able to build that second ferret, though. Tiki gonna come in, try to deny this building farm. Are there enough lizards here for Pile? It actually doesn't look like it just yet, but more lizards are coming in with the reinforcements. Oh my god. Tiki is starving down. He's gonna have to sell warrens to be able to build a farm, which will probably end up just getting poked down by the ferrets anyways. And looks like Pile is gonna pilot ferrets to a victory against Tiki Gray here. Really cool to see. Tiki fighting the last squirrel, but that is gonna be it. Pile takes the series 3-2.